Hey, it's Nick and Judge Phil. This time on Lemons World, we're going to talk about another car from the Lemons Rally. As you guys know, the Lemons Rally is a street-based event. You don't need all of the safety stuff that you need for a Lemons race on a track. We're doing a bunch of them around the country. It's sort of a scavenger hunt format, and it's really cool. And if you have a weird car that you don't want to put on a racetrack, maybe it can go on the Lemons Rally. So Tom Webb, at this point, is a very experienced Lemons racer. He built the Tommy Salami Ford Pinto. He built this Pontiac Le Mans, which of course is based on a Daewoo Le Mans. It was sold under many different badges around the world. He was able to acquire every single badge from every single market that this car was sold in. He put it on the Lemons car. And most recently, he built the Lemons Robot Judge.
Well, I'm not a crook. I burned everything I've got.
So, as some of you who've been with Lemons for a while know, I make terrible suggestions for cars. One that I've been pushing forever is the Premier Padmini, which is an Indian license-built version of the Fiat 1100D that they built from the mid-60s until the year 2000. And nobody was dumb enough to get one until Tom Webb came along.
So to recap, there's an Indian taxi based on this 1950s Fiat. Now here in the States, the Indian taxi version is basically non-existent, but the Fiat original is actually available. They were sold in decent numbers, probably because they were just cheap. They weren't very good, but there's a few of them that still survive.
They took my terrible advice, which you should never do, but actually you really should, and there was a swirling universe of terrible Texas Fiat 1100Ds orbiting around their confused heads, and they mashed their fingers on the bid on eBay and got themselves a random Fiat 1100D in San Antonio, and there it was.
Yeah, so the one that they wound up with might not have been the best one that was available, but they fat-fingered the bid, they won, and then they were obligated to go get this car way far away in Texas. This car was terrible. It was made of structural mice poop, which is how Tom's girlfriend Jan described it. It was just fully rusted out. It had a swapped-in badly Datsun B210 motor, which was a 12-volt engine, and of course the electrical system for the Fiat was a 6-volt. None of the stuff worked. The wiring was terrible. It just needed everything.
So they dragged it up to Colorado, and it turns out Jan's brother, Brett Holdaway, happens to be a Datsun expert. And he was able to knock this terrible Datsun engine into shape, and then they had to make it into a genuine Mumbai taxi. And to do that, turns out they went online and got connected with some Padmini owners groups, and the only way to get parts and decorations and everything else was to send $100 bills by mail to Mumbai.
Everything seems legit here.
And it worked great. They got these giant boxes back full of parts and emblems and decorations and all that, and off went the Fiat emblems and on went the Premier emblems. And the car ended up being an incredibly accurate Mumbai taxi replica, complete with religious icons inside and the really nice tie-dye headliner and the whole deal, and Jan's grandmother's baggage on the roof, which actually ended up looking a lot like the kind of thing you'd see on an Indian taxi in 1968. It's pretty good stuff.
Now, by the start of the rally, they hadn't fixed everything. There was still this minor issue where the car darted violently to the left every time he hit the brakes. They just learned to anticipate that. And then they relocated the battery to the trunk, and well, some of the cables they grounded out on some of the actual metal that was remaining on the chassis and melted everything. They had to fix that with some tape. And then the seats were so springy that every time they hit a bump, their heads would hit the roof. So there were some minor issues going into this event.
Those of you who did the Colorado Rally understand that the temperature extremes they experienced, from about 36 degrees to 111, were not ideal for a Premier Padmini replica. And the car had a top speed on the level of about 54 miles an hour. But of course, they're going through 12,000 foot mountain passes in the Rockies. And so a lot of patience was required and a lot of comfort was not experienced. And they basically caravanned with the hot tub Lincoln, a car which was basically a good match performance-wise for this one. and perhaps even less comfortable. So it was sort of a misery loves company, kind of a caravan road trip, much like your family's minivan when you were a kid, except absolutely god-awful terrible for every stinking minute of the entire weekend. 3 days, no gas gauge, 50 raging squirrel power to get you through 7 mountain passes in the Rockies, and they sold that turd the moment they could as soon as the rally was over.